Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Panther podcast. My name is Apia Mera and I am your host. Now, before I go on into saying any other thing, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who spent time listening to the last episode of the podcast and coming back with feedback. I must say, the team, the Mera Multimedia and Panther podcast team is really impressed with the feedback you gave, and we're only promising you the best that we're going to keep them coming. We're going to be consistent and we're going to keep producing quality content for you guys. Today we're going to talk about something that is very important: how to achieve your goals. Now, this is something not a lot of people know about, because people often want to start something and they don't know how to start it and how to work their way around it to achieve the goals they are looking for. Now, after the last episode, many people DM'd me and they were like, "Hello Mera, I want to start my YouTube channel. How do I go into it? I want to start learning graphic design. I want to start doing this. I want to start doing that. How do I go into it?" And there are other crop of people who were also saying that they started learning ABC some time ago, but they have not been able to be consistent enough. And how do I navigate my way around it? So this episode is more or less like continuation of the previous episode. So episode number 3, how to achieve your goals. And in this episode, I'm going to outline 5 pointers, 5 ways you can use to achieve your goals, 5 basic rules you need to follow. Personally, that is what I have been doing. I have these rules as a check mark, and so I make sure to go by these rules, and that has helped me to achieve so much in a very little time. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, rule number 1 is just start. Now, my favorite brand nowadays has been the Nike or Nike, I don't know how you call it, because their slogan is just do it. Rule number 1, just start. Don't think of anything, just start. Just start without looking at the negatives and positives. Just start. Now, most often, if you want to achieve something, or if you want to start doing something, it comes from an intuition. It sparks in you that you can do this. So you would have an idea intrinsically in you to start doing this. So let's say you want to start a food channel. The idea sparks in you, and before you start, one thing that can make you feel right from the beginning is to think about so many things. You'll be thinking, what if people don't like my content? What if what I'm going to do is not going to be nice? What if a lot of people are not going to appreciate it? What if people don't watch? I mean, it is very good to worry about all those things before you start. It helps you in a way stay focused and adjust certain things so that you're right on track. But if you make those fears weigh you down, you'll never be able to start. And in every journey, the most important aspect is the starting. So there is a saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And so if you do not make that step, you would crash down. If you look at it from the perspective of 1,000 miles, you would never be able to achieve those dreams. So just take step 1. Step 1 is the most important step of your journey. Let me repeat that again. Step 1 is the most important step of your journey. So by taking the first step, you are almost done with the journey, because that is the most difficult thing, or that is the most difficult part of the journey, to actually start. And so whatever you want to do, forget about everything. Put it in your mind that initially nobody cares about you, and so you are doing it for the reason in which you had the intrinsic motivation to actually pursue that dream or goal. So just do it. If it is a YouTube channel you want to make, or if it is content creation you want to do, just create your YouTube channel, upload your first video. And me, for instance, one thing that has been helping me is that I somehow prophesy into the future, and that is what keeps me going. Those of you who have my WhatsApp would notice that sometimes I'll just come and post new video today, and at the time I'm posting that video, I've not even shot the video yet. I don't have any video in mind. I'm yet to shoot the video, but because I have made that promise that there is a new video tonight, that is forcing me to actually shoot the content, even if I am not ready, or even if I have not prepared to shoot that content. Now, you've probably heard this before, but it is true. The hardest part of any journey is the first step. Waiting for the perfect moment, the right tools, or even the right feelings can trap you in a cycle of inaction. So you want to start something, but you're waiting for the best gadgets. Just start. Don't wait for the gadgets to come. Don't wait for the right environment, the right feeling, the right time. You ask somebody, why have you not done this you said you want to do, and the person will tell you, I'm waiting for the right time. Let me tell you in this podcast that the right time is now, and so you need to just start. Forget about everything. So whatever you've got in mind, just start. The truth is, you will never have everything figured out at the beginning, but action breeds clarity. When you start, you will learn what works, what doesn't, and where you need to focus your efforts. Now, before I started my YouTube channel, that is the Mel Multimedia Academy channel, I already had a camera. I bought some microphone and some light, which I thought would be good enough for me. But little did I know that all those things that I bought was completely useless. Like, I wasn't able to shoot a very good video with it, and so I bought things that are useless. But as time went on, as I started, I knew the type of lights I needed, the type of microphones I need, what I need to add to the setup to make it more attractive. And you learn on the job. And how do you do that? By just starting and not worrying about all those gadgets and equipments later. If you want to write that book, don't worry about the first chapter being perfect. Just write. If you want to start a business, don't wait until you have all the capital. Start with the ideas. Trust me, the path becomes clearer once you start working. Let me repeat this. I like this so much. The path becomes clearer once you start working. You don't wait for the clear path before you start working, but then the path would become clearer once you get there, and you will get closer to your goals. Now, that is just one of the 5 rules that we're talking about. Rule number 2 is don't overthink. Yes, you heard me right. Don't overthink. It is just like the rule number 1, but then many people after starting tend to overthink so much, and that keeps them stagnant. They overthink of a lot of things. They will be contemplating on a lot of things, and they would be stagnant. And I've told you that whatever you want to do, just don't overthink it. Just do it. As time goes on, once you're doing it, you'll be learning on the job. Perfectionism comes with practice, and so the more you are practicing it, the more you are doing it, the more it becomes clear to you, the more you get the experience. And so I know, easier said than done, right? Overthinking is like a mental treadmill. You are exerting energy but not moving forward. The more you analyze, the more you second guess yourself, and that can freeze you in place. It is easy to get caught up in thinking about all the things that could go wrong, but honestly, most of that stuff would never happen. So people have the visions, they have the ideas they want to go into, but then they're thinking of so many things, and that things you're thinking about, it is that which is going to weigh you down, and it is that which would keep you at where you are. My rule is to learn on the job, and so I'll keep on doing it, and once I'm doing it, I'm learning it once I'm doing it. As I've said, perfectionism comes with practice, and so the more you practice, the more you are able to become perfect with it. Fear of failure is normal, but if you let it dominate your thoughts, you never make any progress. Fear of failure is normal, but if you let it dominate your thoughts, you would never make any progress. Now, having that fear in you, having the feeling of nervousness when you start, especially at the beginning of something, is normal, and it happens to each and every human being on earth. But you do not let that to weigh you down into stopping your dreams. You might face some 1 or 2 challenges at the beginning, and that might want you to break down or give up on what you're doing, but then just don't overthink about all those things. Stop thinking about how it might go wrong, and instead start thinking about what could go right. Focus on the end goal and take things one step at a time. Focus on the end goal and take things one step at a time. Now, I always say to people who ask me, is your YouTube channel monetized? I'll say no, and they'll be like, how are you producing videos? Why are you being consistent if the thing is not paying you? The main thing is, I am attracted by the end goal, the vision or the dream I want to get to, where I want to get to. That is the drive that is pulling me. And so if now I am not seeing the returns, I know the bright future I have examined for myself, or I have created for myself. So with everything, you need to plan, you need to look at the future, where you want to take this thing to, and that should be a driving force that should drag you to achieving your goals. Now, rule number 3 is to start with what you have. Let me repeat it again. Start with what you have. Repeat after me. I will start with what I have. I will start with what I have. So many times people want to go into a certain profession or a certain skill like content creation, and they'll tell you they don't have the lighting, they don't have the cameras, they don't have the tripods and all the things to shoot their videos. But I'll just tell them, go and shoot your first video. You have a phone, the phone has a camera. God has given you light every day, the sun shines, and so there is enough light for you to shoot your videos. You have the voice in you, so you don't need the microphone. All you need to be is to be audible enough to shoot your first content. And so start with what you have. Don't wait till you get everything. As I said earlier, when I was starting YouTube, I wanted to buy my things, set and start, or at least some things that will get me started. But then I realized that most of the things that I even bought was completely useless, and I've even given out some of those equipments to people I think that would be needing it. And so you start with what you have. As time goes on, you would notice the things you need actually, and that will help you. That will save you money. That will save you a lot of stress from impulse buying, and that will move you a step closer to your dreams. Now, all this fancy lighting you are seeing behind me and all this setup you are seeing, I didn't get here by chance. I started from somewhere, and as time went on, I figured out what works and what doesn't work. And I am able to do that because I started with what I have. Now, so many people wait for the perfect conditions: more money, more time, more connections. But here is the deal: you already have enough to start. Look at the tools, skills, and resources you've got around you right now and use them. If you want to start a YouTube channel but don't have a fancy camera, use your phone. If you want to launch a side hustle but don't have the budget for the website, start with social media. So as I'm saying, there's always a low budget for everything. Now, if I'm to show you the setup I'm currently filming now and the RGB behind me, you'd notice that it is not something you would imagine. It is something so improvised. But then you would never know if I never told you. So this is me trying to start with what I have. I hope you get it. I'm not waiting to get the perfect equipment. Sometimes you can improvise. You want to start a YouTube channel, you don't have a microphone, forgetting that your smartphone or the headphone, the earpiece you're wearing has a microphone, a very good microphone in it that you can use to start filming your content. And so you do not wait for all those things. Just look at what you have, and then the question you ask yourself is, how can you make the most out of this that you have? And you are going to just start with it. Sometimes starting small gives you the flexibility to grow as you learn. Don't let the I don't have enough mindset hold you back. You have got more than you think. You have got more than you think. So no matter what you want to start, I have said the rule number 1, just start. Rule number 2, don't overthink. And now if you're looking for how you are going to actually get the equipment to start these things, rule number 3 is telling you start with what you have. Now, rule number 4 is stay consistent. Now, consistency is something that a lot of people find it difficult. It is actually very difficult to stay consistent. But then I'm going to show you a very, very simple way of staying consistent. I've already said that it is the dream or the vision or the end goal I want to achieve. That is what is driving me to always keep going. And so staying consistent is to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There is a saying that I always say to myself, that this journey is a marathon, not a sprint. A marathon is like something that you're going to do, let's say a cross-country race. That is going to take a lot of time, effort, and perseverance. It is not a sprint. It is not who gets there fastest. It is not who achieves it first. If you are taking it in the position of a sprint, you want to get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, in your first 1 month, in your first year. You want to do this so fast. As soon as you start, you want to get this. You'll be disappointed. Let me tell you the truth. If you're taking it in the motion of it being a sprint, you want to get it fast. You start the channel, you want to get 1,000 subscribers very quick. You start doing this, you start learning graphic design, you want to start getting clients. As soon as you start learning this, you want to see the results. You are going to give up on the way. You keep on doing it one at a time. You keep on going and you're going to be consistent. Starting is important, but consistency is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It is easy to be motivated on day 1, maybe even day 2, but what about week 5, month 3? You've got to show up even when you don't feel like it. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates results. You don't need to make huge leaps every day. Small consistent actions compound over time, And whether it is writing 200 words a day or spending 30 minutes learning a new skill, the point is to keep at it. Success is less about how fast you move and more about how long you stay in the game. So consistency is longevity, how long you are going to stay in the game, not how fast you are going to move. If you are looking at it from the point of how fast you are going to move, you are going to break down and you are going to get disappointed when you start. And that is where a lot of people give up, because the results they are looking for, they have not yet gotten it, and so they think they have failed. But then it is actually your endurance, how long you have been able to stay in the game. And once you are in the game, you are still learning. The more you are in the game, you are knowing a lot of things and you are building a lot of knowledge, and that is what will keep you closer to your goals. Now, strategy number 5 or rule number 5 is embrace failure. Whatever you are starting, you are going to fail at some point, and that failure if you don't take care is something that would keep you failing till you are under the ground. And so when the failure comes, just embrace the failure. Now, I will always use this my YouTube journey in example, because that is the experience that I have gotten, and that is something that I have learned so much into it. Now, when I started, if you go and check out my channel, when I started uploading videos. I uploaded like 4 or 5 videos. I realized that Charlie, the thing is not working, so I had to pause. I had to stop. At that point, I didn't consider it as failure. Now, I looked at what I have done so far, why it is not working, the new strategies I can adapt, and so by my next uploads, I started doing something slightly different to see how it will go. And then if you check my uploads once again, you know that I also paused for like 6 months, getting to 1 year. I wasn't uploading anything on YouTube till I bounced back again. I didn't fail. I embraced that failure and built upon it. This might be the hardest rule to follow, but it is the most rewarding. Failure isn't the end of the road, it is part of the process. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable, something you can use to get better. And the most successful people aren't the ones who avoided failure, they are the ones who learned from it and kept going. So once you've started, let me not lie to you, it is not going to be a smooth journey. It is not going to be a smooth ride. It is going to be a roller coaster. Sometimes you will be in the ups, sometimes you will be in the downs. But then when you are in the downs, don't let the downs pin you down. Take that down moment, learn from it, and then build upon it. I love this quote so much. It says, "They thought they buried me, but little did they know that I am a seed." So once you are under the ground, you are actually buried there. Nothing favors you. It is not going on right. But you should know that you are a seed, and that should be a favorable moment for you to keep going. Don't see failure as a sign to stop. See it as feedback. Every stumble is a step closer to figuring out what works. So don't be afraid to mess up, because every failure is a lesson in disguise. As I've said, you're not going to have a smooth journey. Whatever you are starting or whatever goal you want to achieve, it's not going to be so smooth. You are going to stumble. There are going to be moments, there are going to be very down moments, but then you don't let that stop you. You gather momentum and come back stronger. Look at once you're down, you analyze the whole situation, why you're down, why you feel down, and then you build upon that. And there's this quote also, that they threw pebbles at me and I built a castle out of it. And so once people are throwing those pebbles at you, feel like you failed, you gather all those things and you stand on it and you have achieved your goals. If that keeps you going, if you're to follow these 5 rules, let me just reinstate the 5 rules for you again. The 5-point rule to achieving anything. Let's do a quick recap. Rule number 1, just start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Rule number 2, don't overthink. As in, don't let fear paralyze you. Rule number 3, start with what you have. Don't wait for the perfect gadgets. Use the resources available to you right now. Rule number 4, stay consistent. Show up every day, even when it is tough. And rule number 5, embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Now, remember, achieving your goals isn't about being perfect or waiting for the stars to align. It is about taking action, making mistakes, and staying on the course. You've got everything you need to get started. So, what are you waiting for? Now, I hope this episode has taught you so much. This 5-pointer rule is something that is going to help you so much. It is something that personally I testify to it, and so if you also apply it, it's going to work 100% for you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today to Panther Podcast episode number 3. As I've said, we're not stopping now. We're going to keep dropping content day in, day out, and I thank you very much for being my audience. This is about 27 minutes or 25 minutes, and you've kept listening to all that I am saying. So thank you very much. I'll come your way next week with another inciting episode. As I have said, there are going to be episodes where we're going to be 2 people sharing our experiences or discussing. So just keep listening to the podcast, keep tuning into Panther Podcast, and be sure to subscribe and share it to someone who needs to hear this. Keep pushing, keep grinding, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, stay motivated and take that first step. My name is Apia Mera. See you next week.